Thank you guys for joining me today. We will get started in an active child's pose. So instead of untucking your toes, you want you to tuck your toes. And you can still bring your knees a little bit wider than your hips. And then just make sure that your pinky toes are also forward. And then from there, you'll just descend your torso down towards the earth. Pressing your hips back and really reaching the arms forward. Maybe even at first you tent your fingertips, feeling a little bit more space underneath the armpits. So just begin to take a moment here. You should feel some nice stretching at the back of the feet, on the soles of the feet. You should feel a little bit of lengthening in the spine, opening underneath the armpits. Side body lengthening. Take another moment here, breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling and exhaling. Here you can set an intention for your class, a word or a phrase you'd like to embody or invite in. Taking a moment to connect to that intention, breathe it in, and let go of what doesn't serve. Take another moment here in this active child's pose. And then as you exhale, round the spine like an angry cat. And then you can bring your knees underneath your hips. And round, round, round forward. And then drop the heart, open the heart, drop the belly. Shoulder blades will come to touch. And then continue with this heart opening as you begin to sit back into that active child's pose, as if you're pressing the heart forward until the last minute, and then you drop the head. We'll do a few more like that. Round like an angry cat, really, really rounding the spine. And then from here, you'll drop the belly, open the heart, lift the gaze. Shoulder blades will come close to one another. And then exhale, send the hips back. One more like that. Round like an angry cat, exhaling. Inhale, drop the belly, open the heart. And then continue back into your active child's pose. From here, you can come into your normal cat-cows, or you can add in any intuitive movement that feels good for you today. Maybe elbow or shoulder to hip, barreling the belly, whatever feels nice in this moment. You can untuck the toes. Take a moment. And then from here, you're gonna bring your hands out in front of you or the feet back behind you, depending where you are on your mat. We're just gonna come into our plank. So begin to press through the heels, press into the hands, lift the area between the shoulder blades. Take a moment here, breathing in and breathing out. From here, you're gonna begin to bend the knees, coming into like a hovering tabletop. And then you're gonna send the hips back into a hovering child. And then you're gonna send the hips up, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to walk your dog out, getting to know this first down dog, bending into one knee and then the other. Breathing into your back body. And then find a little bit of stillness. Here in this stillness, can you come onto the balls of the feet, lifting the heels off of the earth. And then as you exhale, bring the heels closer to the earth and try to lift the toes off of the mat. Come back forward onto the tippy toes. And then exhale, melt the heels closer to the earth as you lift the toes up. A few more like that. Come onto the tippy toes, really lifting the heels. And then as you exhale, melt the heels closer to the earth and try to lift all 10 toes off of the earth. From here, bring your knees down. Send your hips back. And bring the hands down by your side into a little fetal position, opening up the backs of the shoulders. Take a moment here. Drop the head down. From here, you're gonna walk your hands back out in front of you. You're gonna press up into your tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your knees off of the earth. That floating tabletop into that floating child's pose as you send your hips back, but the knees are hovering, and then you straighten the legs, drop the head, downward facing dog. We're gonna find a couple of plank rolls like that. So we're gonna round the spine like an angry cat, round it forward, bend the knees, hovering tabletop, and then send the hips back, hovering child's, and then straighten the legs, drop the head, downward facing dog. One more like that, round like an angry cat, hover the knees, send the hips over the heels, and then straighten the legs, downward facing. From here, you're just gonna walk your feet to your hands, finding a fold at the top of the mat. Taking a moment here, you can grab opposite elbows, you can begin to find a little bit of intuitive movement, going side to side, back and forth. Just noticing how that feels right now. Inhale, lift halfway. Your hands will come to your shins. So you'll release your bind, roll your shoulder blades towards one another, opening the heart to the earth below you. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Your arms are gonna reach up overhead. Your hands will touch. As you exhale, you'll trace your hands down to your heart space. Take a moment here, close your eyes, reconnect to your intention. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, open the eyes, swing the arms up overhead. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, lift halfway. As you exhale, plant your hands, step back into your plank. From here, bring the knees down, send the hips back into your child's pose. Knees closed this time. We're gonna find a different variation of our vinyasa here. So from this child's pose, you're gonna round the spine like we were doing before. But this time you're gonna keep rounding until your shoulders are past your wrist. And then you're gonna bend the elbows, coming down all the way to the belly. And then you're gonna press up, pressing into your hands, keeping the elbows by the low ribs. Low cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press up. And then send it back to child's pose. We're gonna do a couple more like that. So round forward like an angry cat. Shift the shoulders in front of the wrist. Bend the elbows halfway. And then all the way. Coming into your low cobra as you press into your hands, open the heart. And then exhale, release. Press the earth away. Back into your child's pose, rounding the spine back. One more like that, round forward. Bend the elbows, coming all the way down to your belly. Opening the heart, low cobra, as you inhale. And then exhale, let it go. Inhale, press up. And then exhale, send it back. Tuck the toes here. Trying to keep your torso touching the thighs for as long as possible. You're gonna press up to your downward facing dog. So you're just gonna begin to press into the hands. The knees will hover, pressing your chest towards your thighs, and then you can straighten the legs. Take a deep inhale and a cleansing exhale. Inhale, reach the right leg back behind you. As you exhale, plant the foot between the hands. And then you'll bring that back knee down to the earth. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And take a moment here. And I always like to invite you to choose your own adventure for this first Sun B. You're welcome to tuck the back toes and come into your crescent lunge. We'll all be able to do the same thing in whichever lunge we choose. So just begin to breathe here, bringing that navel into the spine. This right hip is sending back, and this left hip is sending forward. So instead of like that open hip in Warrior 2, we want to close it off. So just imagine that. Imagine this front heel tracking back, and this front knee pressing forward. Taking a few more moments here. Inhaling and exhaling. From here, we're gonna bend the right elbow The palm is going to be facing forward. And then we're going to bring that palm to the space between the shoulder blades, and we'll bring this left hand out to the side. We're going to rotate that palm back, so you're rotating the arms forward, and then you're going to sweep it back behind you, and then see if you can grab the fingertips of the right. If you can't, that's totally okay. You can grab a strap, or you can kind of just like grab and tug at the t-shirt that you're wearing. Taking a moment here, and then the tendency here is to kind of press forward. Press your head into that forearm to open up a little bit more. Taking a breath here. And then from here, we're gonna actually keep the head pressing into that forearm, but we're gonna shift the torso forward so you're kind of at a diagonal. And then just take a moment there. And then press yourself up. Just simple like that. We're gonna do 2 more like that. So you might be able to feel the sensation a little bit more as you tip forward, especially in the left arm. And then press back. 1 more, tip forward. But you're not rounding the head, right? You're still pressing that head into the forearm, and then press up. And then wherever you are, we'll frame the front foot. So if you're in crescent lunge, you'll bring that back knee down, and then you'll straighten the front leg, coming into your half split. Press the foot towards the face and just begin to breathe into this right hamstring. And then from here, you're gonna bring that left hand down to the earth or to a block or to a book, and you're gonna reach that right arm up. Here you begin to feel it in the IT band, especially if you really flex that foot and maybe send this hip out just a little bit to the right. You might feel it in like different areas of the hamstring as well. Versus the more closed off version of this. And then exhale, come back down, frame the front foot. So you re-bend that front knee, tuck the back toes, and then press back into your downward facing dog. You can stay here, you can add a vinyasa of your choice if you'd like, or you can just begin to hold this space here. Breathing deeply. Feeling the strengthening that's going on in the shoulders. Inhale, we'll lift the left leg up towards the sky. As we exhale, we'll plant the foot between the hands. And then we'll bring that back knee down. Again, if you're welcome to do your crescent lunge. If you want a little bit more balance and a little bit more heat. We'll reach the arms up overhead. And then we'll hold here for a moment, just setting up per usual, front knee over front ankle, and then you're on the front of the back kneecap instead of directly on it. You shouldn't feel too much pain. And then just begin, or any pain. And then just take a few moments here breathing. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then you're gonna begin to bend the left elbow. The palm's gonna face forward, and it's gonna continue to bend until you bring it to the inside of both of the shoulder blades, right, the rhomboids. And then you'll bring this right arm out to the side. And then you're gonna swing that palm back. So you're gonna rotate the arm forward, right? And then you're gonna bend that elbow. And you're gonna try to reach the fingertips. And then one side might be different than the other, right? And again, you can grab a strap instead, or you can kind of just hold the t-shirt, pulling in opposite directions without ripping your shirt, hopefully. Taking a moment. And then from here, we're gonna find those just like diagonal lunges, right? So we're just gonna shift the weight forward a little bit. And you're not letting the head drop, right? You're still pressing the head into the forearm. And then come up. These little movements for me feel huge in that right hand, in the right arm, I mean. Then up. 1 more. And then up. Undo the arms, bring the hands down by the side. If you're in crescent lunge, you'll bring that knee down. We'll all meet in half split, so begin to press your foot, only be a little bit forward, and the toes flex towards the face. Take a moment here in your half split, connecting to the shape and connecting to the left hamstrings. And then the right hand can stay on the earth or maybe to a block, and you'll lift the right arm up towards the sky. From here, you should feel it in the IT band, especially if you really flex the foot. And then I like to send my left hip out just like an inch out to the left. And I feel it a little bit more. Breathe here. And then windmill the arms down to the earth. Frame the front foot. Press into your low lunge. Tuck the back toes. Press up to your downward facing dog. Adding a vinyasa here if you choose, or we can all just hang out in downward facing dog. Your choice today. Breathing in and breathing out. My triceps are very sore, so I'm like skipping all the chaturangas today. So you're welcome to take as many as your heart desires, right? But I probably will not be demoing too many more. Meeting here in downward facing dog, take a deep inhale and a cleansing exhale. From here, really press into the hands and tiptoe the feet to the hands. Trying to keep the legs as straight as possible, maybe even taking like 20 steps to get there. This way you really are creating some strength in the arms as you tiptoe your way forward. And then once you're in that stuck space, you're welcome to bend the knees and just walk the legs up. Take a moment here in this fold, breathe deep. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, lift halfway. And then exhale, find your fold. Inhale, root to rise. Your arms are going to sweep overhead. Your hands will touch. Exhale, hands to your heart center. From here, you're going to sweep back up. And we're coming into chair pose. So begin to sink your hips low. Your feet can be hips distance or touching, your choice. And then just take a few moments here to really get a little bit deeper. And then if your weight is in the front of the feet, shift it back and breathe. Taking a breath. From here, we're going to come into a one-legged chair. So just begin to lift this left foot off of the earth, sinking the hips a little bit lower. Breathing deeply. From here, you're going to swing back into your airplane pose. So kick that left leg back behind you. Your arms will reach back behind you. Hold here. Breathing deeply. And then from here, we're going to land in our warrior two. So back foot comes flat, angled a little bit to the either totally parallel to the back edge or angled a little bit forward. Front heel in line with back arch, arms reaching out in either direction. Begin to breathe here. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Inhaling and exhaling. From here, you're going to flip the front palm. Reverse your warrior. Front hand reaches up and back, creating space in this right side body, keeping the integrity of the front bent knee. From here, you're going to find extended triangle, front elbow to front knee. Right arm will reach up and over, creating a diagonal line from the back foot all the way up to the left fingertips. You can stay here. The right hand can come down to the earth or to a block. And then make sure this right knee is not collapsing inward. Breathe here. And then from here, you're going to swing the hands down to frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, and then you're going to step up into your forward fold. Fold here. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, root to rise. Your arms are going to sweep up overhead. Hands will touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, chair. Coming back to this shape once again. So maybe you know where you are limited today, so you know how deep you can go. So go to that area a little bit quicker than you did before. Really let the hips come down. Breathe deeply. Find that non-moving focal point on the earth below you. And begin to lift that right foot off of the earth into that one-legged chair. Breathe here. And then begin to swing that leg back as you fly into your airplane pose, moving slowly as if you're moving through molasses. Press through that right foot. Reach the arms back behind you. try to close your shoulder blades towards one another. And then very slowly land in that warrior two. Back foot spins flat, arms come out to a T. And then just set up your alignment, right? Front heel lines back arch, generous bend to that front knee. Front knee is not collapsing inward, so you're using the outer glute to really access that, right? Take a moment here. Relax your shoulders. Navel into your spine. Flip the front palm, reverse, front hand reaches up and back. Connect to that front line of the body, that left line of the body here. Commit to that front knee being bent, and then windmill down into your extended triangle, front elbow to front knee, right arm reaches up and over, palm facing down. From here you can stay, or that left hand can come to the earth or to a block. Make sure this top shoulder is not collapsing inward, right? The heart is opening up to the right side of the room. Breathe here. Windmill that right arm down. You'll frame the front foot, and then you'll step back up into your forward fold. Breathe here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, root to rise. Your arms are going to sweep up overhead, and your hands will come to touch. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, exhale, chair pose, sink the hips low. From here, we're going to come into a drinking bird variation. So you're just going to begin to come onto the balls of the feet, and then melt your heels lower. Breathing here. You've got this. Swing the arms back behind you now. Opening up the heart. And then begin to dip the heart down. But the heart is opening, right? You're not rounding forward. You're opening the heart forward. Bend the knees a little bit more as you sink the hips a little bit lower. And then bring the heels down. Swing the arms back up, chair pose. Back to your one-legged chair on the right side. Left foot reaches up. From here, you're going to open up into your airplane pose, slowly pressing through that left heel, opening up the heart to the earth below. Elbows are trying to touch on the back body, flexing through the left foot. Gently press back into your warrior two. Windmill the arms to a T. Setting up once again. And then from here, we're going to lift the the right heel off of the earth. Breathing here. Kind of just changing up the stability of our feet and noticing how it feels now that we're on the ball of the foot. Obviously, being on the ball of the foot during chair pose is quite different, and you might feel that here too. Flip the front palm reverse, keeping that heel up. Reach the arm up and over. And then extended triangle, front elbow to front knee. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Breathe here. Maybe even core support by bringing that right arm out in front of you, serving a platter to whoever's over there. Platter of pizza, cupcakes, whatever you want. From here, you'll bring that right heel down. You'll windmill the arms down to come into this. You're keeping the warrior two shape, but you're bringing your arms out like a down dog. So keep the bend in the front knee and breathe here into this shape. Breathing deeply. From here, you're going to bring that left heel in, and then you're going to walk your hands underneath your shoulders, and then your hands will come to your hips, and then you'll come up into your goddess squat. So your knees and your feet are in line with one another, out to the side, and you can just begin to kind of dip a little bit lower. So trying to bring your hips a little bit lower, taking your time to get there. And once you feel like you've gotten your depth, you can just bring your hands to your heart center. Take a moment here. And then from here, we're going to find five-pointed star. So you're going to press into the feet, reach the arms out, taking up space, breathe in the air. And then exhale, come back into your goddess squat. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, goddess squat. One more like that. Reach up, take up space. And then exhale, hands to heart. From here, you're gonna straighten the legs, bring the hands to the hips, heels out, toes in. And then you're gonna begin to lengthen the heart forward. And then you'll find your fold. Your hands can come to the earth, they can come to the outsides of the ankles, whatever feels comfortable for you today. Reconnecting to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling and exhaling. Begin to bend into the left knee, coming into that skandasana. And then you might be up here, and that's fine. Or maybe you're able to drop the hips a little bit lower and come onto the heel of the front foot. From here, we're gonna bend into the front knee, the right knee, as we walk ourselves to the front of the mat. And then walk back to the back of the mat. From here, you're gonna look forward. We're gonna find our half moon, so we're gonna walk our hands forward. Our right hand's gonna plant on the earth or to a block. You're gonna lift that left leg up towards the sky. Left leg on top of the right hip. Press through that left heel, not towards the sky. Take a moment here. Breathing deeply. Opening up to the left side of the room. From here, you're just gonna close off the hips, and you're just gonna find a fold at the top of the mat. Breathe here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, lift halfway, roll your shoulders back, and then exhale, find your fold. Inhale, root to rise, your arms are gonna reach up overhead, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, find your chair pose. Sink the hips low. And this time we're gonna go straight into that drinking bird. So begin to shift the weight into the toes. Reach the hands back behind you. Breathe here. Bring the heels down. Reach the arms up, chair pose. And then we'll find that one-legged chair, shifting the weight to the left foot, lifting that right foot off the earth. Shifting weight to the left foot, sorry. And begin to sweep back slowly into your airplane pose. Breathing. Gently come into that warrior two, right foot plants. Reach the arms out to a T. Come onto the ball of the front foot. Breathe here. Flip the front palm, reverse. Left hand reaches up and back. And then extended triangle, front elbow to front knee. Right arm reaches up and over. Staying here, reaching that left arm out to the side, core supporting this. And then bring that left heel down. Swing the arms down, finding that downward facing dog and warrior two dance. I need to find out the name of this. It's a little bit quicker to describe. So your feet are in warrior two stance, but your upper body is like in a downward facing dog. So reach the arms out forward, keep the bend in the front knee. From here, begin to straighten that left foot, or that left knee, bring the right heels in. Begin to bend both knees. Hands come to your hips, coming back to that goddess squat. Taking a moment to find how this goddess squat feels this time. From here, we're gonna dip our right shoulder down in between our legs as we open the heart to the left. You can gaze over that left shoulder and then come through center. Bend that left, or shift that left shoulder forward. Bend the right elbow and gaze over the right hand. Come through center. We'll do one more on each side. Right shoulder down. Coming up through center. Left shoulder down. Through center. From here, you'll bring your hands to your heart space. And then maybe you lift the left heel off of the earth and you bring it down. And then the right, and then you bring that down. And then maybe both. Woo, bring both down. Straighten the legs, hands come to your hips, toes in, heels out. From here, you can begin to interlace the fingers behind the back if you'd like, if this is accessible to you. Maybe you grab a strap, open the heart at first, and then find your fold, releasing down. Taking a moment to breathe in this shape, opening up the fronts of the shoulders. You can keep the bind, or maybe you begin to release it down to the earth. We're here for a few more moments. Breathe deep. From here, we'll all come back to this fold, so undo your bind if you still have it. The right hand will plant to the earth, the left hand will reach up towards the sky. And then you'll bring that hand down. Left foot, or left hand down, right hand reaches up, opening up to the opposite side. And then bring that down. Bend into the back knee, finding your skandasana, whatever height you're at. Maybe you're able to dip the hips lower and come onto the heel of the front foot. Breathe here. And then shift the weight forward into that front foot, skandasana at the front edge of the mat. One more to the back. And then we're coming into that half moon, so just begin to press that left foot down. So you walk your hands forward, float that right leg up as you stack the right hip over the left. Right hand will reach up towards the sky. Breathing here, making sure you're softening the standing toes, you're pressing through the heel, and breathe deeply. Closing off the hip, the right hand will come down, and then you'll bring the right foot to meet the left. And you'll just find a nice fold here. Maybe you walk the feet out a little bit and find the opposite elbows. Breathing here in a ragdoll. Have a bend to your knees and just kind of windshield wiper side to side. Shake the head yes and no. We have one more standing series before we hit the mat, so just begin to breathe here. I told you I was trying to skip as many chaturangas as possible, right? We're using chair pose as our refresher instead of our downward facing dog. It's a different perspective, right? Take another moment here. Undo the arms, walk your feet back to hips distance or toes touching, your variation. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, root to rise. Your arms are going to sweep up overhead. Exhale, come into your chair. Come into your drinking bird as you come onto the balls of the feet, swinging the arms back behind you. Breathing here. And then bring the heels down, reach the arms up and over. Head. Come onto the right foot, lift that left knee off of the earth. And then swing back into that crescent lunge. Into that airplane pose, but we're going to crescent lunge. Take a moment here. And then very slowly press the feet down as you come up into your crescent lunge. But then cactus the arms as you open the heart. And then reach the arms up overhead. We're going to bring that right elbow to bend. And then we're going to bring the right hand to the drape of the neck, or that area between the shoulder blades. The left arm is going to reach up and over. We're going to open up here. Breathe here. Coming back to this shape. Begin to find your way diagonal here once again. And then come up. And I missed it. We're going to bring the left hand out to the side. Rotate the arm forward as the palm faces back. Bend the elbow and try to grab the right fingertips. Again, grabbing the t-shirt is also okay. As long as you don't rip it. Or as long as you don't bill me for ripping it. Taking a moment here, breathing into the shape, and then we'll find those halfway diagonals, right? Shifting forward and back, forward and back. Ooh. Last one, forward. We'll hold here. Then we're going to fly into airplane pose, into warrior 3 with the arms if possible. You can let it go if it's too much. Begin to shift the weight forward, and fly. Take a moment here. Staying here, maybe you open up, coming into this bound version of half moon. So now the toes come over to the side, and your heart is opening up to the left. Close back down into your warrior 3 legs. And then bring the left foot to meet the right. And then slowly release the arms. Out to the side, give yourself a nice big hug. And release the hands down. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, find a fold. Take a moment here before we find the other side. Finding a nice generous bend, allowing the blood to flow into the head a little bit. Breathing deeply. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, root to rise. Your arms are going to sweep up overhead. Your hands will touch. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Inhale, sweep up. And then exhale, find your chair. Sink the hips low. Breathe here. Finding that drinking bird, we're going to swing the hands back behind us. Come onto the balls of the feet. Breathe here. Sink the hips lower. And then melt the heels, reach the arms up overhead. Come onto the left foot, lift the right foot off of the earth. Flying into that airplane pose for just a moment, sending that right leg back behind you, arms sweeping back. Slowly bring that right foot back behind you, coming up into your crescent lunge. But from here, you're gonna find that cactus of the arms, so open the heart. And then come back up, crescent lunge. This time we're gonna bend that left elbow, palm facing forward. We're gonna bring that palm to inside of the shoulder blades. The right arm is gonna reach up and over. Take a moment here. Shift the weight forward, or the torso forward, coming into that diagonal. And then come up. We're gonna bring the right arm out to the side. Palm's gonna face back. Interlace, or try to grab the fingers. And if not, grab the shirt. So this side for me is a lot tighter, so I don't even know if I can do this today. Begin to breathe here. And then we're gonna shift into that diagonal. And then we're gonna come up. Into the diagonal. And then up. Coming into that diagonal this time, we're gonna fly into our Virabhadrasana 3. Right leg will kick back behind you, holding here. You can stay here, you can begin to open up to the right side, so bringing the toes out to the right, heart open to the right, coming into this kind of bound half moon. Begin to close off, coming back into that Virabhadrasana 3, and then bring that right foot to meet the left. Open up, and then give yourself another hug, opposite arm on top this time. Release the arm down by your side. Take a moment here, feel the feet into the earth. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Your arms are gonna sweep up overhead. And then exhale, come into your chair pose, sinking the hips low. Inhaling and exhaling. Swing the arms back behind you, coming back into that drinking bird, coming onto the balls of the right, or both feet. Woo. Breathe here. And then from here, bring your hands to your heart center. And begin to sink the hips lower, lower, lower. Coming into toe stand. We're gonna bring the hips over the heels. Take a moment to breathe here. Find your strength, trying to bring your torso over your hips. Breathing deeply. And then slowly we're gonna come into boat pose. So as slowly as you can, maybe you reach the arms out in front of you. You'll just sink the hips back and reach the legs out in front. Coming into your boat pose here, breathing deeply. Inhaling and exhaling. Reach the right arm up and then bring it down. Left arm up and bring it down. Hug the knees into your chest. And then come down all the way to your back. Rock side to side, massaging the lower back and breathing deeply. You guys really worked it today, right? Those were a lot of action in the legs today. The stability, kind of connecting to our root chakra. So here on our back, the base of the spine is where that root chakra resides. So maybe here you just begin to massage that area. As today we are on our feet for most of class, you can really begin to notice the stability that your legs have for you. They have a lot more than you think. You're able to hold those poses for longer than you think. Take a few more moments here. And then you're going to bring the feet down to the earth. Your hands can come down by your sides. We didn't do a lot of back bends today, so we're going to do 3 bridges, and if that's not enough for you, you're welcome to take a wheel if you feel warmed up. But I'm going to do 3 bridges, so your hands come down by your side. Maybe you're able to touch the heels with the fingertips. And you're either going to grab the mat, or you're going to press the hands down, tuck your shoulders underneath your back body, and lift the hips up. Coming into that first bridge and breathing deeply. And if you're cooked, you're always welcome to kind of just lift the hips up and bring a pillow or a block underneath the sacrum. If you're active, keep pressing into the feet, lengthen the tailbone forward, feel the space in the front of the hip flexors, and feel the heart pressing towards your chin. Take another deep breath in here, and then exhale, slowly let it go. Take a moment here in neutral before we get into the next 2. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Press into the feet, hands come down by your side, lift the hips up. Maybe here you bring your hands underneath you to interlace. Press the chest towards the chin, puffing up. Breathing deeply. And then very slowly bring the hips down. Take a moment. We have 1 more. Again, you're welcome to take supported, you're welcome to take wheel, whatever's in your practice today. Coming up into our 3rd back bend, we're going to bring our hands down by our side, tuck our shoulders underneath our back bodies, lengthen the tailbone forward, and then lift the hips up. Feel the lengthening in the hip flexors, almost as if you could feel like you're creating space from the hips all the way down up to the knees, as if there's like a beam of light that you're lengthening there. Feel the glutes begin to activate. If you want a little bit more, maybe you do little pulses, just lifting the hips up and down a couple of inches. We're here for a couple more breaths. Maybe you find that restorative version wherever you are. Breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. And then slowly begin to come back down. Hug the knees into your chest, rock side to side, and drop the knees over to the left, and then gaze over to the right. Arms come out to a T. Breathe here. Slowly come back through center, take a moment here, and then drop the knees over to the right, gaze over to the left. Slowly come back through center. Begin to find your final movement before you make your way into your Shavasana. Getting any props you may need for your Shavasana, so maybe you need blocks underneath the knees or a pillow, and bring your hands to your belly or to your heart or down by your sides, taking up space, whatever is necessary today. Maybe you begin to notice the impression of sensation on the legs after being on them for so long. Maybe you begin to notice that low spine, the base of the spine on the earth below you. There, maybe you begin to imagine a red orb, that root chakra beginning to spin. From there, begins to radiate throughout the body, swirling like red energy, red glitter around the torso, up through the arms, down through the legs, out the fingertips and out the toes and out the crown of the head. Feeling this beautiful light, red light, making you feel safe, secure, making you feel grounded and nurtured. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale, let it all out. Fully relax, fully surrender, fully release. Shavasana. Take a deep inhale and a cleansing exhale. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. If you're ready to embark on the rest of your day, invite movement in the fingers and the toes. Maybe you find a full morning stretch. Make your way onto your side body into a little fetal position. Take a moment here to thank yourself for making it to your practice today, for connecting to yourself, connecting to your body, and connecting to your breath. Slowly begin to press yourself up to seated. Getting into a comfortable seat to relax the shoulders away from the ears. Bring your hands to your heart center. Your eyes can be closed. Take a deep inhale and a cleansing exhale. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. The light in me, the shadow in me, all that is good, all that is bad, acknowledges everything that's within you, your whole true self. Namaste. Thank you.